Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, viewers. How are you? Okay, so we are discussing today about the dates and data integrity, and uh, you can name so many things about it, like the date validation hacks, the importance of the integrity of data when we talk about the date, especially with reference to the dates, right? The found date formatting, people get mixed up with the date, and Excel data integrity best practices also have to be followed. Right? It means what are the best practices with respect to the integration of your data, integrity of your data, and also how you can avoid the common date errors. Right? So our topic is more mainly today about the date, the validity of date, and making sure the the confusion does not arise with respect to the dates, right? uh, and the consistent and formatting of the date, it matters, right? Otherwise people get confused, especially when you have multi geographical users are using the same system. Some are habitual of one format, keeping the month and then day and then year, and some are on other part of the globe, they prefer first of all the day and then month and then the year. So the first one was called is actually known as American format, and the other one is which I discussed, in which you have the date first and then month and then the year. So that is actually British format, and there is a Japanese format as well. Means you can have a year first and then month and then day. So there are so many regional settings, regional conventions with respect to date, and that becomes very, very important that your data integrity is not jeopardized by ignoring the dates. Otherwise, uh, um, you see 4/3/2025 may mean to some that 4th of March, whereas some will read it as the 3rd of April. So that causes. So then, this is not something very great for rocket science, but it may cause problems. So being a developer, you have to address it properly, so that from the root, it is means your program should be so intelligently written, so that there is no confusion. Okay, so the first thing we show you our database. So we have a database in which we have our videos, and that has a key, which a date. This is also a date, first year, then month, and then day. The advantage of using such a key is that the it will be automatically sorted. It means you don't worry about the sorting, since the system is picking the file from a folder. I show you this is our VBA folder, and in the VBA folder we have a monthly directory, right? Yeah, we have a monthly directory. Yeah, and in the monthly files, we have all these files. Okay, so the system is picking the first file first and putting it. So it is automatically sorted, right? The first 100 entries are pertaining to this file. The next few hundred entries are pertaining to this file. The third and the last one. The last one is this, right? So there are about 32 items, and each file has so many rows. Right? So how many rows have it so it has consumed 4,219 rows of the data you have. Okay. And our topic is regarding the date and how to intelligently validate the date and make sure that the dates are properly entered, and you don't have to uh, worry about the mistakes which normally the users do. So what you do is we write a message, an event that as soon as this cell is clicked, that is G4, that is column 7, and row 4 is clicked, it is changed as soon as it is changed, right? So the program will take the charge, and it will ask you, okay, you have changed it to 1st of January 2025, enter the ending date. So it has to be somewhere after the 1st of January. So if somebody wants to crash this program and makes it 2023, the starting date is 2025 and ending date 2023, the system should immediately respond, it's invalid entry ending date. Yeah, it has to be some bigger than that. Okay, if somebody wants to uh, crash the system by entering instead of date. So it is a please enter a valid ending date. Okay, good. So the system is not crashing, even if you yes, if you it will accept as soon as you say, okay, I need 5th of January as an ending date. Said okay, so 5th of January, 1st January, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and all the data has been plotted. So we are talking about the dates, right? Although we have the formula here using the VLOOKUP and bringing all these data. This is not our today's topic, but how to make sure that your dates are entered and validated properly. Okay, so we take you to the code which takes care of all this in an activate version, not in an activate, rather in change version. Because as soon as the G4, this is column 7 is G, and row 4 is what? It is 4. So G4. And as soon as it is changed, so this will trigger, and this will first thing it does is that whatever you enter, it has to be converted into the date value, because every date has some value which is used for calculation, comparison, etc. Right? So it has some numeric value. So let's see what numeric value has been assigned to it. Okay, so we put a breakpoint in here, and we show you, as for example, we change it, say from 30, say 25. Okay, as soon as you change it to 25, since the change has occurred in this qualifying that the target row is 4 and the target column is 7, so the dt is the date value of it, although you have entered it in such a manner, right? But it has automatically used as the date value. This is actually a numeric value is at the back of this date, right? 1 oblique 25 oblique 2025, right? So this is a date format where in which it is showing, but there on the back of it there is a numeric value. Okay, so that can be used in comparison and say if it is greater, if it is less, and whatever. Okay, so date value is the function which converts any string which is qualifying to be a date into the actual date value, and that date value is stored in this variable, and it is showing you this variable, but on the back of it there is a numeric value. Okay, so the first thing it does is that converts using into the date value. The next, it enters into the loop and keeps you asking until you give a valid entry. A do and loop means do endlessly until you are told to exit do, right? So it will do endlessly. If whatever you enter is not a date, it will say that please enter a valid date. If you did enter a day, if it is date, but it is not in a logical order, means the date is you are supposed to enter the ending date, but it is smaller than the starting date, so it will be showing you this ever the invalid ending date. And if it is otherwise okay, the max date, what is max date? It's being calculated. Let me show you of it. Let's take you to the code. So let the message come. So now it is asking you which date you want as an ending date. So let me tell you 31st of, let's put a 31st of January. Okay. So what would happen? It will check if this 31st of date, 31st of January, is it a date lying? Does it look like a date or not? It does look like a date, right? So it will enter. Otherwise, it will say that it is not a date. So let's press F8. So it is a date. Now that date is going to be converted into comparable, calculatable. So E date will become good boy. The E date will become it will be converted from a string to the actual date value. So let's press F8. You will see previously it was wrong. Now the E date is looking like a date. This is the systematic date which system recognizes as a date, right? And it is calculatable. It is comparable, right? So what is the max date within? If it is exceeding the max date, so then an error will come that it's an invalid date, right? So the max date is the date that is in your database, the bottommost date. If you go to the video table, right, and you go to the bottom, so this is what it is doing. It is picking this max date, right? Okay, it is picking this back. Let's see if it is doing or not, but to make sure that it is picking this date, max date, which 1st of February, right? Okay, so what we see, let's see, as soon as it is, what date it brings as a max date. So maximum date, so it is 1st of February 2025. That's right. So this date is again, it's not comparable. It is a string, so it has to be converted into the date value, right? So it is taking the mid function to get the month first out from this. So what is the month? Month is the mid first, right? So that is 02 will be picked, and then the day, that is the right two character or the day, okay, and then the year part will be taken. Okay, so let's put here a breakpoint, and we'll see what happens to the max date. Max date is the first of February. 1st of February is the max date. So any date which has been entered has to be less than the max date. So of course it is 31st of January, and this is the comparison which is it is doing apple to apple, right? So 31st January is of course lesser than the max date, right? And also the date which is being processed, that has to be before less than the ending date, right? Okay, so this is good, and it is converting it, and it is comparing it and validating it. When everything goes right, then it will go out of this loop. Otherwise, it will keep you asking to enter a valid dates. So this is how we do this, the validation of date. And let's do the let's see what happened and run it. So this has generated the report, and required numbers of columns have been generated, and the totals are matching. The first row is the total row, 295, you see, 295, and this is simple sum of this that agrees with that. Okay, and also your dates are in accordance to your choices which you entered, 25th of January to 31st of January. So all these columns are set. So the columns are flexible, and there will be and there will be as many columns as would be required by in line with the desired period for which the user is making the report. If he wants to make the report only for 2 months, 2 days, then it can take any 2 days for 27 and 28. So ending date is 28, for example. Yeah, 28. Click enter. So all the other columns will be deleted, and it will show you these 2 days. The total of these 2 days is this, and which videos had the views in how these 27 are. The two are here, one is here, and you can use the filters also to see all the 27 for these dates. So our topic was about the integrity and data validation and date validation and data integrity. So the tips we have provided you, the complexity of ensuring the accurate date have already been discussed to you, because if there are diversified users geographically, they have their different and diversified conventions. So your program should cater everything and does not get confused and does not get crashed due to, and the errors should not it should not be erroneous, right? Mm. So this was so we were discussing the date validation and data integrity tips, and the complexities which in which you can get stuck, and the accuracy issues will occur if you do not apply the thoughts on the diversified formats of the data may encountered by the system. Maybe entering the people who are entering the data, they follow a different format, and the system may get confused. So your program should make sure that there is no confusion. So you will learn. With the so in this video we have explained you how you can use all these techniques to validate the things. So you make sure that the valid response is entered in the right format, in the right telling the right date. Right? So date values function is used to check to ensure that the date which is entered is making sense or not, and the data which is being entered, it has the full integrity, and it is consistent. Also, uh, we have shown you how to use this date validation hacks by in your VBA code, right? So for this we have used the function, what you say, that the date value. We have used a function of converting the dates like yeah, date value, and uh, you can concatenate these things, the three parts of the date together to get a string, and that string is converted into the calculatable value using the date value function, right? And then you have to your system should give a proper messages for validation. uh, mm, and if there is some inconsistency, the system should jump in and tell you that, to guide the user, that how he can enter the right date. So imagine a spreadsheet which is full of errors, having inconsistent dates. You can easily imagine how would be it will be chaotic. It will create a chaos for the analytics, yeah? And it will cause the loss of time and resources. The inaccurate results and poor decision making will be also caused by the loss of this integrity in the data. And so if your data is lacking in that, so what would happen? The data integrity will be affected, which is essential for decision makers, which is essential for your reliable analysis, and to have the accurate insight of the data, right? Okay, thank you very much for watching. Inshallah, we will come up with more on means the features about this application. But today's topic was about only the dates and how to enter the date and how to make sure the dates. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.